We're in London for Europe's premier high-stakes cash game. Tonight, 8 of the world's best will sit down with at least $100,000 of their own money in this no-limit Texas Hold'em poker game.
I love playing in big games.
The most exciting part about any cash game is the amount of money you can win.
The chance to, to show your skills that really matter is to be a winning poker player.
And with one of the strongest fields ever assembled, our stellar lineup are under pressure to perform in this, Europe's biggest televised cash game.
The reason why I want to play against these guys is because they are the best in the world.
I'm not intimidated by nobody at the table. Nobody intimidates me.
I feel like I have something to show them.
It's just the nature of my blood.
I don't think you're going to ever find that tougher lineup.
This is the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.
Originally from Helsinki, Finland, and known by most in the poker world as Zygmunt, it's llari Sahamies. From Toronto, Canada, with nearly $2 million in live tournament winnings, is Peter Apathy Jetten. Just 22 years old, Justin Boosted J. Smith has substantial success in high-stakes shorthanded ring games. Tom Dwan, or durrrr, he plays poker online in the highest stakes regularly against the best in the world. The 2000 World Series of Poker main event champion, he has 5 World Series of Poker bracelets in all. Some call him Jesus, it's Chris Ferguson. Former model and tennis player, Patrick Antonius from Finland is always one of the most dangerous players in any game. Mike Matusow, Mike the Mouth himself. He has 3 World Series of Poker bracelets and over $7 million in live tournament winnings. And finally in seat 8, it's Phil Ivey. His record speaks for itself. 8 World Series of Poker bracelets, 1 WPT title, and over $13 million in tournament winnings. Without further ado, let's get to the action. I'm David Tuckman. Joining me in the booth today is World Series of Poker bracelet holder and Texan character. It's Robert Williamson III. Robert, we've got quite the lineup here.
We sure do, David. I'll tell you what. I'm glad I'm up here in the booth and not down there on the field this one time. Well, most of the time. We'll see later today. Maybe some of them go on tilt, and I wish I was down there. But right now I can tell you, we got 4 incredible action players, and they're all spaced out just nicely. I think we're going to see a really, really good, fast-paced game today.
Blinds are $300, $600, the $100 ante.
12 to play.
We're starting out, looks like with a straddle on this pot. 3, 6, 1200. That's when the first man past the blinds decides to put double the big blind.
Raise. 3600.
Peter Jetten seems to want to be the aggressor here. 6-8 of clubs. I'd rather be the raiser here than the caller with 6-8 of clubs. That's my preference by far. Well, he's in the hijack position anyway.
Well, action on the button. That's Justin Smith. And he's going to call the 8-9 suited.
Pass.
Durrrr not going to play.
Pass.
Ferguson not going to play. But Antonius is going to play.
Can't say that I blame him. Ace-5 offsuit. A lot of flops can come down interesting here.
3, 5. Ace.
Oh, wow. Speak of the devil, what a flop for Patrick Antonius.
That's an interesting flop. Ace-5-3, couple of spades out there. Justin Smith with the flush draw. Antonius a top 2 pair.
That's what makes this interesting. I love the check here because if anybody has a flush draw, he can put maximum pressure on him. Really love the way Antonius is playing this pot so far. Give himself a chance to win a big pot or force flush draw off their hand.
$7,200.
I like that, but he ain't going to like it here in a minute. This feels like the right size bet to make, and you might just pick it up there, but with 2 pair, I don't think he's going to get Antonius out. Antonius definitely, I would say, is going to make a raise here.
Raise.
There's the raise.
26,000.
It makes it 26,000. Jetten gets out of the way. Back over to Justin Smith. Now, Justin Smith only came into this pot with about 98,000.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to see an all-in by Justin Smith here or a fold. It seems hard to take a card off when he's already got over 1/4 of his stack, close to 1/3 of his stack in the middle. Can apply maximum pressure if he re-raises. Of course, we'll see a quick call by Patrick Antonius if he does. He might just lay this down.
Pass.
And he does. He lets it go. He realizes he can pick a better spot than that. A nice pot for Patrick Antonius.
12 to play.
Each of our players have bought in for $100,000. Blinds are 300, 600 to 100 ante.
Jack of diamonds exposed. First burn card.
I'll tell you what, this game is not short on action. With the 1200 straddle, is really going to make them want to chase. It's like chasing a rabbit at the dog track.
Raise. 36.
Jetton's going to raise this up with Jack 10 suited.
Pass.
Jetton's been one of the more active players at this table so far.
Pass.
Guess that where he gets his name from? Peter Jet.
Cool.
10.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
Cool.
Mike the Mouth calls. Ivy calls.
5, 8.
And look at this
Ace.
flop. 5, 8,
my
ace.
goodness.
It's a monster flop. Matusow's flop bottom set. Jetton has got the flush draw.
And Matusow leads at this pot.
57.
He's giving them a chance if they've got a big ace to come over the top of them. I like this lead.
Pass.
Classic super system, Mike the Mouth, leading right into the razor. Of course, when I talk about super system, I'm talking about Doyle Brunson's book.
Now, Jetton could get in a little bit of trouble here because if he tries to represent a big ace and raise Mike off his hand, he might meet some resistance.
Cool.
Jetton calls. Here's the turn.
6.
6 clubs. Doesn't change anything.
It doesn't look like that card helped Mike Matusow at all. I suspect we'll see him lead again, thinking that Peter Jetton has a big ace. Give him a chance to lose some more money.
15-5.
And he bets 15-5.
15,500.
I like the size of the bet, too. If he is on a flush draw, give him a bad set of pot odds to make this call. Plus, Peter Jetton might go crazy and raise here. I love the way Mike Matusow's played his hand so far.
Yeah, some players would play this as a check raise, and by check raising your opponent, sometimes you blow your opponent off the hand. This way, Mike the Mouth has kept Jetton in.
Yeah, I think Mike led trying to play a really big pot. Because if Peter Jetton does have, say, ace-king here, maybe not ace-queen, ace-jack, he might not lose so much. But ace-king, he would have lost a big pot. I love the way Mike played it.
Let you get the first one, Mikey.
Yeah, you know.
Another straddle here. This time it's Zygmunt straddling in seat number 1.
1,200.
Who made a bad bet?
I was just
Tom?
tilted.
He never makes a bad bet.
Sure doesn't.
Did you say sure doesn't? Never made a bad bet versus you, except when I made bracelet bets.
No, just all those bracelet bets you made, they were real genius.
I'm ready to do the vegetarian thing again.
Raise.
Justin Smith's going to raise this up with ace-10 offsuit.
100,000. Says you can't be a vegetarian.
I couldn't do it for a million.
100,000.
I couldn't do it for me.
I couldn't do it for 10 million.
Howard told me how you hustled me in the bracelet bets.
I
It's not
hustled.
on you yet, Phil.
You talking about me?
Pass.
Yeah, he said that he asked you why you didn't just
Ivy's going to call with the suited king.
why you didn't just lay the odds against me.
I still don't think.
And then I heard your hustle, which was you said that you knew you were no chance to lose. You were free rolling because you knew you were going to win one.
And the 5s work so well for Mike the Mouth. Zygmunt's going to see if they work for him as well. And we're going to see this flop 3 ways.
7. King.
Yeah.
Jack. Check a bit. Check. Check.
It's a tough flop for Justin Smith. It's a tough flop for him to continuation bet. I'd be surprised if he does. That's a very coordinated flop.
7,300.
It's not going to stop him. Smith puts out there 7,300.
Yep, and I suspect we'll see a call from Phil Ivey.
Cool.
And he does call. Not much value in raising that if you're Ivy from out of position. Zygmunt can get out of the way, I'm sure.
Pass.
No, he passes, and we got heads up.
6.
6 diamonds doesn't change anything. And while Ivy is ahead, Justin Smith can actually catch a queen or an ace to win this hand.
It feels kind of weak right now. Justin Smith might actually be feeling that as well.
19,500.
19,500.
And he's going to bet 19,000. He announces it.
This is a very advanced play here. Double continuation bet. He fired 2 barrels, and wow, Phil Ivey makes a tough call. Can he triple barrel this? I don't think no way Justin Smith could triple barrel it. I know he senses weakness. If it comes a brick, he could be tempted to triple barrel this.
pot now, 45,700.
Oh, well, it put a heart flush out there, which will slow Phil Ivey down, but it also gave Phil Ivey 2 pair. Now he's going to be in payout position.
And the master bets
35,000.
35,000.
Here's why Phil Ivey made that bet. He's going to give Justin Smith a chance to pay him off if he has top pair. And if he gets re-raised, he can lay this down because he doesn't have enough of his stack committed.
Pass.
And obviously Justin Smith not going to make this call. Smith folds it away. Can't beat a king, can't beat hearts. And Phil Ivey, more often than not, Phil Ivey on top of our leaderboards, and once again our big winner in this game.
So Sigmund's got all the money now, so now he's just locked it up with a chastity belt. He has like a list written down. Phil Ivey, 1.5 million goal. He get to scratch your name off. Patrick, 1 million goal. Scratch the name off. Who you got left on that list?
The great Phil Ivey has the button in front of him.
Cole South.
And the straddling continues.
Cole South, I'm down like maybe
Cole
11
South?
million.
Yeah. He's a great player, man. How many million?
Blinds are 300, 600, but with a straddle and the continuous straddle that we've had since the start of this $1 million cash game, it's 3, 6, 12.
Raise 4,000.
Patrick Antonius is going to make it 4,000. That's a pretty big raise. We've been seeing the raise amounts right around 3x, and when I say 3x, I mean 3 times the big blind. He's making it 4,000, a little bit over 3x.
Hey, buddy, how's Jungle Man doing over there?
Well, I guess it's not just Mike the Mouth. It's Mike the Mouth with his little pet donkey.
Cool. 4,000.
And Justin Smith's got a hand that he might want to defend with. He's got Jack 10 off suit. The problem is he's short stacked.
Yeah, just about can't defend there. Hard with his stack size.
9 King Deuce.
Well,
and we've seen this flop a couple times. King 9 Deuce Rainbow.
Check.
Antonius with second pair top kicker. Not a great flop for 2 6s.
yeah, but if it goes check, check, and a deuce pairs the board,
Check or bet.
you could see some action.
It never occurred to you to bet neither side.
Check.
Well, I need action.
Check.
I quit football betting. I need action.
And the river fills up Antonius.
7,000.
Jetton bet 7,000. Strange bet by Jetton with the 6s. Is it a value bet?
Absolutely. I think he thinks he has the best hand right now. And frankly, if I was him, I would think I would too. You might get paid off by an ace high here.
22.
Raise 22,000.
Well, instead of getting the call, obviously he's going to get the raise. Antonius raises it up.
Well, that's the problem with this lead here. Now he's got a tough spot. It almost puts him in a position where he almost has to pay him off because he led at the pot. I would have preferred a check call here from Peter Jetton, especially because Patrick Antonius hasn't shown any aggression this whole hand. It's just hard to put him on a 9 or a deuce here, or even a king for that matter.
Making me guess.
Jetton's going to give it up.
That's actually a pretty darn good fold there from Peter Jetton. I might have paid that off myself. Just looked suspicious the way the hand came down.
Join us after the break for more action from the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.
Roland had the under on 4 miles. So sick.
Wow, I would have took for how much though? Would he have had to be getting paid?
20K.
For 20K? I would have took under 4 miles for 20K.
And surprise, surprise, the straddling has stopped.
The actual answer is definitely more.
I promise you it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I promise you it's not.
Cool. Pass.
One day he's going to call you and say, hey, I left this money
Yep.
out on the side of the highway.
Then you'll find out.
2,000.
Nah, I'm going to set it up really good. I'm going to have someone owe Phil money. Nah, I'm going to have someone owe Phil money for a long time.
Sigmund defends his button.
Have him say, you can come pick up
You don't know me well enough.
What?
You don't know me well enough. I will not walk 5 miles for that.
You could just jog. It takes an hour.
Why would I do that?
6.
Because you jog
9,
at the gym.
10. Check or bet.
Hit Forrest.
I don't
Hit
like
20
doing,
miles
I
a
don't
day.
I don't like doing it for money. I feel
For like a month for 2 million.
Check. Check. Check.
But for 5,000 a day.
Phil Ivey in the driver's seat once again with top pair.
That four should go a long way for it.
I didn't think it was feasibly possible, but anyway.
How much did he
7,000.
make it by? Like,
Weighed 138. Clay cleared it with no problem.
he had to go under 140, or?
130, yeah, 39. He looked like he just got out of a concentration camp. I mean, I thought he was gonna die, really. He was his voice when he was talking to me, it was like,
Cool.
I was like, he's gonna croak right now.
Dwan calls.
7,000.
Ivey calls.
Cool.
And this pot now nearly $31,000.
9.
Ooh, nice card for Tom Dwan's hand, giving him 3 9s.
How does Durr play it, though?
You know what? I think he checks here. I think he gives them a chance to hang themselves. I don't think we see a lead here. If he leads, it's hard for him to get paid off by much else except another 9 with the worst kicker. Of course, if he lets a free card come off here, there's 3 to a straight already. Could be a 4 straight board. I think that's what he's thinking about right now. Do I let this card come off, or do I go ahead and lead?
Well, it looks like he's going to lead.
21-6.
21,600 over to Ivey.
It's a real tough spot for Phil Ivey with top pair. He still has Zygmunt to act behind him. I suspect we'll see Phil Ivey get away from this hand, though.
He got off of the lemonade. He just did water the last 3 days.
Ivy's going to pass.
Pass.
Zygmunt gets out of the way, and Dwan's going to win that pot. And Ivey, what a fold. It's not a great fold, obviously. He only has top pair with a queen kicker, but at the same time, it's just uncanny 6 cents from Phil Ivey. Take a look at the leaderboard right now. Phil Ivey on top as usual. He's up 36,800. Justin Smith, the 22-year-old, quickly down $46,500.
What kind of odds can I bet that Tom Dwan doesn't win a bracelet in the next 10 years?
You can bet big. You can bet
what kind
really,
of odds?
really big.
I want to know what kind of odds you're giving.
Even money. Either I win one or I don't. Even
No,
money.
no, I want to know what kind of odds.
So what are we gonna do?
I'll take 7 to 1 that
Me
you
and
don't
you?
win one in the next 10 years.
You got to give me at least 2 to 1.
On winning a bracelet?
Yeah,
I'll be straddling or no? You can have 2 to 1 all day long, dude.
at least.
Yeah, how much? For how much? I'm posting.
I mean, that's what you gave last year, and you whacked me for 500.
Okay, yeah, but you know the bet was. I don't think it was. I was very lucky.
Yeah,
you were.
600.
After your little boast to Howard that he ranted to me about
That
because
was
he had
pretty
just gotten
lucky.
whacked.
Pass.
You even admitted
gonna
all
need
the
at
tournaments you
least-
ever won in your life. That was the luckiest tournament you ever won.
Pass.
Folds around to the button, Justin Smith.
You said no, I was all in 19.
Well, with the 10-7 suited, I suspect we'll see the old button raise trick.
The one that you were real unlucky with.
Raise. 1,800.
Makes it 3x, 1,800. We've gotten rid of the straddle right now, so it's 300, 600. And Justin Smith's going to steal the blinds. That's going to feel good. Not much has gone right for Justin Smith.
Hold on.
All right.
I want some of this action. How much what's the bet? You lay him 2 to 1, and he lays you 2 to 1?
If I win a bracelet, he owes me $1 million. If he wins a bracelet, I owe him 500. If we both win bracelets, it's a wash, no matter how many number.
Okay, I'll do that, and I'll lay 200 to 100.
Okay, but I don't do Ted Forrest style.
No. Well, that's what the most like. Oh, the most I can lose is I can lose 200. Trust me.
Okay. By the end of the series,
By the end of the series, yeah.
600.
and I can buy out for 10%. You know, just or Ivy.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Same deal, obviously. Before the series starts, you know.
Oh, before the series starts, you can buy it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We can go 50 to 100 just in case I'm fine. No, I'll have plenty of money then. I have some
You
good
should.
things going.
Don't you gonna predict the future?
Zygmunt going to raise it up with ace-queen offsuit.
Just let me
I'll
know.
take a price you're broke
1700.
before the start of next year's World Series. What do you want to lay?
I'll lay any amount you want.
Pass.
Problem is,
what
problem
do
is
you
if you win,
think?
how are you going to get paid?
No. I want to know what you think you make in a bet.
Yeah, have
very
money
good
by the
bet.
end of the World Series.
1,700.
If you go broke between now and the World Series, I win.
Pass.
What's considered broke?
Pass.
Like not a quarter on me? I mean, I'm always broke.
Here's the flop.
4, 6, 10.
Both players,
Get a piece of it.
well, they get a little piece of it, but unfortunately for Zygmunt, he's got a heart draw, but he's drawing dead to hearts because Dwan's got the king of hearts in his hand. Dwan also has top pair.
Zygmunt still has 2 overcards with that heart, so he could easily get tangled up in this pot. Tom Dwan's not going to go anywhere with his hand.
3,700.
Well, these two players, they have so much experience against each other playing online and live, but mostly online.
Two of the more aggressive players at the table, too, so either one of them could be anywhere on this board.
A bet from Zygmunt, a call from durrrr.
Deuce. Check or bet?
Zygmunt's trying to decide whether to fire on another barrel. If he does, we'll definitely see a call from Tom Dwan. I don't think he can get away from top pair in the second nut flush draw.
There's a second bullet from Zygmunt.
11,000.
Makes it 11,000.
Nearly a pot-sized bet there. I haven't seen many of those so far. I don't think it's going to scare durrrr out of this. Matter of fact, durrr's more considering whether to raise or flat call here.
So there's not much value in raising, though. I mean, if your opponent has an overpair, are you going to get him to fold it?
I don't mind a raise there because I figure to be drawing live with my flush draw.
6 diamonds on the river.
Check.
Well, Zygmunt has given up, though. He checks over to Dwan.
Yeah, now Dwan's going to probably value bet something in the 17 to 20,000 range. About half the pot. Probably right at 17, 18,000. It's about all he can get paid off. And he probably can't even get that paid off. That's why bet sizing's so important here. Any chance of Dwan getting paid off, he's got to really think twice about the size of his bet.
26,400.
Oh, he's trying to make it look like a bluff. Aha. He's disguising it.
26,400 from Dwan. Back over to Zygmunt.
Well, I don't think Zygmunt could make this hero call.
And is there any chance that Zygmunt thinks that Dwan has the ace of hearts?
He's
making a bluff.
You know what? I think that's exactly what's going through his mind right now. He's like, I can beat any hand that's not a bluff in his mind, but there's too many hands that Dwan could have here. I don't like this at all. I'm letting this go. I'm not going to try to make a hero call. Not in this spot. There'll be better spots later. Obviously, if he's taking this long, Zygmunt thinks he might have the best hand. He would be mistaken. He definitely doesn't. Oh, wow! He tries to make a hero call.
Great value bet from Dwan. And Zygmunt pays him off with ace-queen high. And Dwan takes in $87,000.
I'll tell you what, Dwan, bet sizing there, he made the exact size bet to make it look like a bluff. And you know what? To the victor goes the spoils. Well played by durrrr.
Phil Ivey has stepped away from the table for some fresh air. It's a cash game, so players can come and go as they choose.
Button in front of Zygmunt. Tom Dwan, our big winner so far, is first to act.
Raise, 2,000.
Tom Dwan raises it up. Oh, the ace-queen this time. Legitimate hand.
Raise.
You get a re-raise from Patrick, and this is the second 3-bet of the match, both of them from Patrick Antonius.
Queen down of clubs. He's actually technically dominated right now, but he's got position on Tom Dwan.
Mike, you were saying he wanted to use frozen paintballs.
Frozen paintballs.
I don't think we'll see a 4-bet, but we could.
Cool.
No, just a call. We're too deep for a 4-bet there.
Heads up between the heavyweights.
King 3, 10. Check or bet?
King 10-3 rainbow.
Well, both players flopped a gut shot, a jack for a straight, but of course that would put Tom Dwan in the driver's seat.
Yeah, jack would be an absolutely awful card for Antonius, but he might not. We might not get there.
I was going to say, he's reaching for his chips. This is actually a pretty tough call for Tom Dwan, especially from a player like Patrick Antonius has already showed strength pre-flop by re-raising.
11,000.
That's a little more than 2/3 of the pot.
Problem is, even with that one overcard, even if you hit your ace, you don't know if you're good.
Yeah, that's true too. That's the other problem. Be surprised if we see anything but a fold here from Tom Dwan, but you know, sometimes these guys will float a flop in this kind of situation.
When you say float, what do you mean?
Well, when you float a flop, is basically when you're calling to bluff another street. So you may not have anything, but if you think you can take the other player off of his hand, sometimes you do that. Usually you see a float in position, though. Tom Dwan out of position this time.
Check.
Well, the check from Dwan over to Antonius.
Check.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That elusive jack.
Oh, and that's the card. That's the gin card. Both players make their straight.
We're going to definitely see fireworks here. That's for sure.
Antonius has far from the nuts, though, right now. Doesn't have the nuts straight, and there's also a paired board out there.
Yeah, I don't think that'll save him, though. The stack sizes were a lot deeper than this. That might save him, but the stack sizes aren't deep enough for him to get away from this. If durrrr leads at this pot, we're going to see a big raise from Patrick Antonius, and then an all-in or a call if he's already all-in from durrrr. Yeah, I don't see how Patrick Antonius can get away from this, especially the way the hand came down.
Back over to Dwan.
I'd say he's going to bet around 25,000, 26, 27, something in there. Let's to bet as much as possible.
23,400.
There's the bet from Dwan.
I love it. 2/3 of the pot.
23,400.
Yeah, I think more times than not, you're going to take a chance this way this hand's come down. You're going to take a chance and raise here with Patrick Antonius' hand. Maybe something like almost a min raise. 50,000, 60,000, something like that from Patrick Antonius.
You're the pro, Robert, but I just don't see a raise here. I'm just wondering, if you raise, what kind of value are you going to get? What kind of hands will call you if you raise?
Well, believe it or not, you can get called by a lot of hands here. You can get called by ace-king. You can get called by king-jack. I mean, there's a lot of king-10. You might even get paid off by 2 queens. I don't know. 2 aces definitely going to get paid off. I think there's enough hands within Tom Dwan's range here that I've got to raise this like a vast majority of the time.
We'll see what Antonius does.
I mean, obviously I can see he shouldn't, but I'd be shocked if we didn't see a raise here.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely is going to raise. He's in your camp. There's the raise. It's a hefty one.
I call.
Straight.
Oh, wow. And just a call from Tom Dwan.
It's a quick call from Dwan. He's going to like what he sees.
Wow. I'm really surprised we didn't see an all-in from Tom Dwan there.
$183,700. Go over to durrrr.
God damn, they're re-raising your under-the-gun raises with Queen 9. Maybe I should name this call Patrick instead of durrrr.
Take a look at the leaderboard. Patrick Antonius has rebought. He's got another $100,000 behind, but he's down $66,100 already. Zygmunt also down $53,600.
So far, it's been the Tom Dwan Show.
Join us after the break for more action from the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.
$1.10.
Phil Ivey has rejoined the action, and we are once again 8-handed.
How much you want to not shave your hair till the next series?
Not shave my hair to the next series?
Not cut it at all.
Not cut it? I'll take $2 million.
I'll bet you.
I'll take
I'll
$2
bet you
million. I won't
25,000
shave
you
or cut my hair.
25,000. That's silly.
Till the
Why do
next
you even
World
make these
Series.
ridiculous offers?
I have 50.
Thought my beard would be longer than your hair.
I just can't cut it. You said, right?
No. You can't get rid of any of it.
Trim if I can trim.
on for 12.
How
Like
much?
a hairline, you know, it's going to be like.
Yeah, that's fine.
How much for me not to
I just
shave
can't
or
cut
cut
it
my
off.
hair?
Right.
Cut it down or
This
anything.
is 2 days.
Yeah. You can
no.
you can obviously like go right there and trim that part or
1200 to
whatever.
play.
Ivey in the big blind.
Yeah.
Zygmunt straddles this time.
25K.
Raised to 3,600.
Chetton going to raise it up 3x,
Yeah, I thought
3,600.
when you said trim it, you meant like.
I had one of those. I had an afro.
How much would you pay me to not shave or cut my
Braids.
hair till the World Series? Now you gotta shave.
How old were you then?
If I don't shave,
I don't think I want to see that.
it's gonna be down. My beard will probably be down to my toes.
Holy moly. Cowboys for Phil Ivey.
What's that? 36?
Yeah, it's been raised to
I think a homeless guy was coming to get us.
I would take 20 to 1.
Raised to 11,000. Pass.
Ivey raises it up to 11,000.
total.
There's the 3-bet. Zygmunt gets out of the way. And it's back over to Peter Jetton. Peter Jetton doesn't look like he's going to play this, though. He doesn't play it. Ivey takes the hand down.
I knew I should have slow played it. So stupid.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I laid even money
Show
on
me
a
the
bracelet
deuce.
against durrr. And if he wins and I don't, he can
You
taste
bet
me.
even money?
Only on 50K too.
How are you
I
going to
feel
win
like
a
the
bracelet?
tease bet should be way more, you know?
How are you going to win a bracelet?
How am I gonna win? How's he gonna win it?
That's true.
Mike, you ready?
Me, I have 1-3 instead
You
of
could throw in a
1-6.
free roll taser too. That if I win one, I get to tase you too.
Even? You got it.
No.
Oh, baby!
No, 2 to 1.
You got it, big time.
Wow. 2 to 1. I get to flip
We
a
could
coin.
bet something too.
I get to flip a coin for if I get tased or not. You know.
2 to 1.
It's got to be 2 to 1.
He can't ever win, anyways.
Because you give me 2 to 1 on the money.
You're already
He
robbing.
can't ever win anyway. He's whispering.
He can't win unless, like, he comes to me and says, Mike, will you teach me how to win a tournament? Then he can win.
600.
I know. That was the big problem when I got heads up and no limit with that guy.
Well,
who
no,
plays
that
50
was,
cents a
you were
dollar. I
too
just
busy
didn't
running
know.
around to 4 different tables while you were head up. That's why you didn't win that one.
Lay me 2 to 1. Let me get a coin flip on the tase. I think that was a bluff by me. I'm not sure.
New country heard from Chris Ferguson for the first time. Getting a little involved here. Patrick Antonius going to try to pick him off with the 7-4 hearts.
He would try to just stand there and be like, all right, shoot, man. He get shot by
Let's get to bring Zygmunt in. Zygmunt in there with the 8-6 offsuit. And we're going to see this flop 3 ways. You know, Mike the Mouth awfully confident that Dwan would never win a bracelet. Flop King 5-3, top pair for Chris Ferguson. Consider that Dwan came in second in the 2010 World Series of Poker.
So obviously he has the ability to get there, just hasn't closed yet.
And he's only 1 man away from winning a bracelet.
Bet 4,000.
Chris Ferguson bets. You're going to get a call here.
4,000.
Wow. So Patrick Antonius taking a card off with a gut shot. Needs a 6.
7.
He picks up a pair of 7s instead, but he also picks up another club. Can he represent the flush draw? Can he represent the flush, actually, I should say?
If Chris checks it to him, as tight as Chris has been playing, Patrick Antonius may try to take this pot away from Chris. I think I'd take a pretty decent-sized bet from Patrick Antonius to blow Chris off of this hand.
Check.
If you're Chris Ferguson, he checks behind. If you're Chris, what do you think your opponent's called you with on that flop?
Check or bet.
It feels like possibly another king. I mean, maybe King 10, King Jack. Of course, this Jack on the river, that might have hit him.
Well, if you're Chris Ferguson, you have to hate that turn. You have to hate the river. Now you can't beat a flush. You can't beat King Jack.
Can't beat a straight. Your opponent could have 4-6. There's a lot of hands you can't beat. I think you check, and if you get bet at, you make a tough decision.
8,000.
Chris is going to bet 8,000, so what do I know? I would have checked, but Chris didn't listen.
Now what's going on in Patrick's head?
He actually might pay him off. He might think the 7s are good, but I don't see how they could be. Nope. The tightest player at the table leads again. You got to lay it down. Good lay down by Patrick Antonius.
Blinds are 300, 600, the $100 ante.
If you have been running good the last few days and stuff.
600
to
play.
Yeah, and I was like, you get a mistake from cut. And you just
Chris Ferguson not going to play.
On it.
Pass, pass, pass.
But then I don't think he did.
Hadn't played too many hands tonight.
Well, it's Chris Ferguson's style, especially in the cash games. We've seen him in this
Raise to 2,000.
format more than once.
Phil Ivey open raise for... Oh, wow, and he's going to run into a little hand here. 6-7 diamonds for Phil Ivey. 2 aces for Zygmunt.
We haven't seen too much 3-betting so far. Only Antonius has done that, and this time Zygmunt does it.
I fold.
How much are you playing?
145.
45? Okay.
145. Yeah.
Is that euros
Okay,
or
my
dollars?
Pounds. We are in
Oh, pounds.
London.
We're in London now. Is that pounds or dollars?
Don't want to be nitpicky, but it is American dollars here at the $1 Million Cash Game, Mike.
Oh, and look at this flop for Phil Ivey. Gut shot for a straight and a flush draw.
Yeah, it's a gut shot straight flush draw. 8 of diamonds gives him a straight flush. Any 8 gives him a straight. Any diamond gives him a flush. And all the chips are going in.
Yeah, it'd be hard for either one of these two players to get away from these hands with the stack sizes that we're seeing.
I don't think these players should get away from it. There's the bet.
How much is that?
12 different people.
What kind of cash unit?
Thanks, buddy.
Wow, and a flat call.
Bet, call. Not the card Ivey wanted to see.
I mean, by just flat calling on the flop, he might be able to get away from this hand. If Zygmunt were to check here.
I don't know if Ivey's going to give him a chance to check.
20.
20? 20,000.
I think that's 20,000.
I know this much. I wouldn't be calling.
That'll probably make him play better.
Then I know there was an upside.
Cool.
And of course, once again, they listen to me.
This pot now over $70,000. Here's
Phil
the
needs
river.
an 8 or a diamond. Oh, and an 8! Gives Phil Ivey the straight.
Okay, now this is the question. If Ivey puts in $10,000, Zygmunt can beat almost nothing, but he's getting 8-1. Can he really fold aces here?
Straight.
Goes check, check, and Ivy's going to take this pot down. $70,700. Not much going Zygmunt's way.
Just like we said, 6-7 of diamonds was an ace buster. Busted those aces.
Take a look at the $1 million cash game leaderboard. Tom Dwan on top of it with up nearly $164,000. Zygmunt has rebought in, but that doesn't stop the fact that he is down nearly $90,000. Patrick Antonius bleeding money, $89,900 down.
Let's get down to the floor. Alex Payne is with llari Sahamies.
Well, things have been a little bit tough for Zygmunt at the start. Down a fair whack. What's been going on at the table for you?
Actually, like I said, I don't know the rules and I have played very bad. Not special, as usually, in no limit hold'em, so I'm happy I'm only 100 down, so let's see what happens.
How well do you think you're playing at this table right now?
You know, I'm just trying to get the money, and so far it's working out.
And obviously defending champion as well. Is it important to you to retain your crown?
Well, I'd like to win a lot of money, so I guess in that form it is, so yeah.
Good to see you back at the $1 million cash game as well. It's been a bit cruel to you in the past and been quite kind to you as well. How much do you like playing in this event?
I do. I really like it because I like to play, cash games, and it doesn't feel like a tournament. We're playing for real money, and so I always like that.
An absolute dream lineup. Dwan, Ivey, Antonius, Zygmunt. The list goes on and on.
Tell you what, if you're playing in this game, I think it's more of a nightmare lineup. Forget the dream.
Zygmunt first to speak.
Raise to 18.
I was part of that team.
Pass.
Surprise, surprise. An opening raise from Zygmunt. Queen 10 offsuit. It's going to get some respect, though, because this is an under-the-gun raise. It's not a normal raise.
Dwan folded 5-4 diamonds. Kind of hand that I would expect him to call a raise with. You surprised?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Dwan, I think, is tightened up just a little bit since his stack has grown, and I don't mind that actually. He's got chips to protect.
9 Queen 6.
Queen 9-6, couple of diamonds out there. Patrick Antonius with the open-ended straight draw.
And top pair for Zygmunt.
4,000.
Could be some interesting scenarios developing here.
Now we know Antonius is not going to fold. Just a question of whether he calls or raises. He decides just to call. Pot now 13,300. Here's the turn.
That's an action killer card there. Put a third diamond on the board, an overcard.
Can Patrick use it?
Absolutely. If Zygmunt doesn't fire,
12. 12,000.
Zygmunt fires right into that scary board. Wow. Yeah, I think we'll see a fold here from Patrick Antonius. That's a scary board for Zygmunt to be firing into. Wow.
It's pretty close.
Well, Patrick lets his straight draw go. Unfortunately for him, even if it hits a straight, he doesn't know if it's good. We can see that it is, but he doesn't know that. And Zygmunt's going to take that pot down. And those are our two biggest losers of the day, battling it out. And Patrick coming on the short end.
I suspect we'll see a lot more of that, too. Usually when a player gets stuck, tend to want to gamble a little more.
Button in front of the mouth. The mouth and Chris Jesus Ferguson, definitely the two tightest players at this table.
600 to play.
Action on the Canadian.
Pass.
And Peter's going to let it go.
20 paintballs.
600.
Even money.
Pass.
So 20 paintballs, even money. Bracelet this year. If we both win, it's a wash.
Raise to 2,000.
I don't want to get hit with a paintball, Tom. I'll pass on that.
Then win a bracelet.
You were so ready to book it
You're
before.
free rolling.
So ready.
Pass.
Taser he'll do, though.
Cool. 17 more. Pass.
If it involves money, how about we do this? We bet $2 million even on winning a bracelet, and I'll take 40 paintballs to your 20.
Zygmunt now going to take the opportunity to maybe
We
squeeze.
raise to 8,600.
He's got ace deuce. Dwan's not going to go anywhere, though. But Mike the Mouth folds.
Yeah, in position. Pretty tight fold there.
Do you think Mike is benefiting from his tight image at this table?
So far, I haven't seen it being beneficial to him.
King, Queen, 8.
Dwan hits top 2, King, Queen, 8. Nothing there for Zygmunt at all.
Wow, this is a really, really bad flop for Zygmunt. I suspect if he doesn't lead at it, Tom Dwan's going to check it back to him because he's definitely going to want to give him some rope with top 2 pair.
14,000.
14,000.
There's the bet from Zygmunt, 14,000 into a pot of just over 20,000.
Two of the most aggressive players in all of poker tangling up right here.
Cool.
And Dwan just calls.
Well, Zygmunt's in a lot of trouble here.
10. Check or bet?
Do we see another bet from Zygmunt? I don't think so. I think he's going to check and give up here.
Against players like this, in a field like this, can you be successful playing it as tight as Mike the Mouth is?
Absolutely, but you got to get paid off, and that may be the problem for Chris Ferguson and Mike the Mouth. They probably won't get paid off very often. And in this case, to the expense of Zygmunt.
Yeah, Zygmunt made the move. Dwan calls. Mike folded. And I suspect the action is going to be over right here. Let's see how Dwan plays it.
He's got to bet because this is way too coordinated of a board with 2 hearts and 4 different cards all high where there could be straights.
25,600.
Definitely have to bet, and it should be an easy fold for Zygmunt.
And sure enough, that's exactly how the action goes. And the rich get richer. Dwan now up over $186,000.
Join us after the break for more action from the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game. Welcome along to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.
Tom, what are our bets for the World Series?
No.
What do we have? $1 million to 5 again, right? For 500. What else was the other one?
100 to 50 final table.
He laid you 2 to 1 to final
And
table.
20,000 over 4.5 cashes on you.
You have under 4.5 cashes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And 20 paintballs from the end of a
4.5
basketball
cash is
court.
tough because if I happen to
600 to play.
Pick that
if
one
I happen
off.
to win one right away, I might not play another one.
Yeah, but you know
I'll let you buy out.
Yeah, right.
Pass.
I might not.
600.
If there's good games.
Yeah, right.
Raise to 2,000.
Patrick Antonius is our big loser. He's down nearly $100,000. He's going to raise it up here with King Deuce suited. Over to Ivey with the Queen 9.
Cool.
And Ivey calls.
Cool.
Zygmunt calls as well. And Peter Chetton's going to call also.
I'll bet $1 million you don't win one and stop playing.
4 players.
Wow.
Wait a
He's
second.
thinking about it just to, like, you know, get you started.
Yeah, just to get them started. Is that an offer?
You just got Chris Ferguson popping out millions now. That's strong.
I love these kind of hands because it means there could be some really good action.
Check.
And there could be. Jack 10-7. Open-ended for Phil Ivey. Zygmunt with second pair.
Bet 6,000.
Double gut shot for Peter Chetton. Zygmunt playing very aggressively into 4 pre-flop callers here.
You've got to realize there's some magic cards here. If an 8 were to fall, it would give Ivey the straight. It would also give
Raise to 26.
Chetton the straight as well, but Ivey would have a bigger one straight.
I'll tell you what, Ivey decided to open from the button with an open straight draw, and Zygmunt felt weakness, I guess, with second pair. I mean, this is a fantastic raise. It puts Phil Ivey in a really bad spot, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw either a raise, a fold, or a call from Phil Ivey. And I bet you this much, whatever he does is probably right, too. This guy makes so many great decisions in the course of a game.
Cool.
Well, he's going to call this pot approaching $61,000.
7. Check.
Turn is a 7 of hearts. And Zygmunt's still in the lead with 2 pair now. 10s and 7s.
Zygmunt's got an awkward stack size. He's got 70,000 left. There's 60 in the pot. Really awkward situation, stack size-wise.
But when Ivey calls you, do you put Ivey on a draw or do you put him on a jack?
To be honest with you, here, I think he might have a jack. It feels like a jack.
26,000.
Wow, what an interesting bet. Less than half the pot. I don't know if he can get away from this hand, though. I don't think Phil Ivey can raise him because Ziggy doesn't have but 45,000 left. He might have made a perfect bet size here, actually. Gives the appearance that he's not folding no matter what. But actually, if he got raised by Phil Ivey, I love this kind of bet. He could fold. I don't think he's going to, though. Puts Phil Ivey in a pretty bad spot here, punishing him for drawing. Phil Ivey's getting priced in. He's getting just about the right price here to make the call. Wow, what a great bet sizing by Zygmunt there. He outplayed Phil Ivey, actually.
It gets so weird on those kind of bets. You have nothing riding on the side action, right? I'm winning.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic at this table with a few uber aggressive players and then just a couple of tight players, but definitely a lot of action.
Raise to 2,000.
Patrick Antonius going to raise with the ace-5 suited.
Cool.
And Zygmunt's not going to let his button go, not even with 7-3 offsuit. Wow.
14.
These guys are really playing aggressive.
2 players. 4-9-3.
Check.
It's an interesting flop because Zygmunt outflops him. He's got a pair of 3s right now, but Antonius has picked a gut shot up to the wheel. A deuce gives him the straight.
Bet 4,000.
Antonius could also catch a 5 or an ace to take the lead.
Yeah, but 2 spades on the board is the only problem because the deuce of spades comes, you really don't even quite like your straight.
Yeah, Zygmunt obviously playing his position.
Cool.
Antonius calls. Pot now 13-7.
5.
Oh, an interesting turn card now. Patrick Antonius has the best hand.
And Zygmunt has picked up a straight draw.
Bet 11,500.
Almost a pot-sized bet to a really draw-happy board. I mean, 2 flush draws out here, 3 to a straight. It's a pretty bold bet from Zygmunt here.
Well, one thing we've seen from Zygmunt, he is not afraid to put money in the pot. And this is no exception.
It's a tough spot for Patrick Antonius. I mean, I think a flat call is in order, but boy, it was really tough to do anything else but flat call here. And he does.
Pot now 36,700. Antonius in the lead, but does he know it?
It could be a lot of scare cards here, and that's one of them.
Well, anybody, if either player had a deuce, they would make a straight.
Check.
But this is a raised pot. You wouldn't normally expect the deuce in either player's hand, would you?
No, I think Patrick Antonius is definitely, well, they go check, but Patrick Antonius was calling any bet anyway.
Sure.
It was your, you made the aggressive action, so you need to show first.
Patrick Antonius asking for a little information, though. He's making Zygmunt turn over the 7-3 offsuit. Wow. And all the players at the table got to see 3-betting pre-flop by Zygmunt with the 7-3 off.
Does that help the players at the table, or does it help Zygmunt?
You know, I think ultimately it helps Zygmunt, but it really helps Patrick Antonius knowing how light Zygmunt is 3-betting him.
Button in front of Justin Smith. Tom Dwan is buying the button. Robert, help us out there.
The price of the button is $900. So basically, when a player comes in, if they've missed a hand when the blind's past them, they take the small and big blind, and the small blind is dead, and the big blind stays active, and only one person's in the blind. And that's what Tom Dwan has chosen to do.
I'll take 20 to 1.
I will too.
600.
Okay.
Raise to
I'll
2,000.
take 15 to 1.
Pass.
Antonius raised it up with ace-king.
You should take a better one than me because you're better than me. So.
Oh, every one of y'all play PLO and no limit hold'em better than me, and I'll take 3 to 1 to win a tournament over all you guys.
What does that even mean?
It means that you got to lay me 3 to 1 at the World Series of Poker Europe.
Yeah, but what is versus me? You're saying heads up, or you mean versus everyone at the table?
Me against you to win at the World Series of Poker Europe coming up.
You got me,
thought you
but I
meant
get to
versus
play the head up, and you don't get to play it. Bet. How much?
You got it. Okay, how much? What's the most? Like a 3 to 1, so I can lose
Deuce,
20,000 to 60.
Okay, bet.
Mikey, I'll do the same, but 20 to 50.
And this is actually kind of a tough spot for Patrick Antonius here.
No, because you're a good PLO player. You guys all play PLO way better.
Yeah, I know, that's true, because Phil Ivey sucks at PLO and no limits, so that's true.
That's a great card for Patrick Antonius.
Phil, I'd take 20 to 1.
All right, fine. Fine, 60 to 20. You can't play the heads up.
Bet 3,000.
Bet from Antonius.
These players play these hands so tricky when they're playing these meta games with each other.
And when you say meta games, you got kind of mind games, you're saying.
Mind games, exactly.
Hope you win it now.
I do. Well, actually, I hope you get second, and I win.
And Phil Ivey wins.
Phil Ivey gets third. Loses to Mike Matusow.
All right, I had this dream the other day that I won the WSOP Europe tournament. I'm pretty good on dreams.
Bet from Antonius and a call. Here's the river. Down and dirty, 7 of diamonds. Nothing there for Zygmunt.
Check.
Antonius decides to check. Over to Zygmunt.
Man, before every single tournament at the World Series this summer, I had a dream I was going to win it.
I had a dream you were going to get knocked out in the first hour of every tournament. I think I missed by 2 tournaments.
I mean, we know Patrick's never folding here.
No, he's checking to try to get this bet.
Bet 5,500.
He got what he wanted.
Yeah, Patrick played this hand perfectly.
Well, now the question is, does Patrick raise? I think he has to.
This is really where the head games come in, because it's almost as if they're staying one step ahead of each other.
21.
And there's the raise.
We raised to 21,000.
But he leaves enough room where if Zygmunt wants to re-raise it, he can.
15 and a half more than.
Absolutely. And a player that's as aggressive as Zygmunt is, that's always a possibility. I still like this play. Patrick Antonius played his hand extremely well.
Well, Zygmunt's thinking about it. I mean, obviously he's not going to call with 9 high. But no, he's going to pass. He's going to pick a better spot. Finn against Finn. And this time Patrick has the upper hand. Patrick Antonius has dug himself out of the hole. Back up to 137,600. He's still down 62 and change. But Zygmunt, he is our big loser so far. Down nearly $97,000. Tom Dwan, the story of the day. Up over 185,000.
No surprise there. Tom Dwan's going to be usually at the top or the bottom of that board. This kid doesn't mind gambling. Gambling is not against his rules.
Mikey, I'll take, are you playing all the tourneys?
Yep.
I'm playing all
I'll
the
take
time.
me and Peter versus you and Ivy, if you want.
Yeah,
just lay me 1.2.
You got it. You got it. I'll bet it. I'm all in.
No, you gotta lay me
do that
1.2.
even.
1.2. Obviously, I'm not going to do it at even.
1.1.
1.2. You said you got it, I'm all in. And then Phil Ivey says,
600
oh,
to
wait,
play.
I want a better price because he's a nit.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, the offer's off the table. Really? I really hope that was on film.
No, you
Show
got it. You
everyone
got
Phil
it. You got it.
Ivey's action.
Sorry. 18.
How much did you bet?
How much are we betting?
Raised to 18.
We?
Yeah, I want some of that.
You got
Wait a minute,
none.
you know, I bet,
What?
I bet
No
against
way.
him.
Come
Well, I
on.
can't
You
bet,
can
dude.
have
I
whatever
bet
you
against him. How can I have him as a partner when I already bet like against him to win one?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? It doesn't matter.
It's all separate
Consider it a
bet.
hedge.
1,800.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike the Mouth is up about $4,000 today.
And I don't think he came here to win $4 grand.
1,500 more.
Like you said, it's very, very tough for Mike the Mouth to get any action.
12 to play.
He's going to get a little bit from Patrick.
I think Patrick's giving everybody action. He's a non-discriminating
2 players.
caller and raiser. Ooh, and he got a piece of this
High
flop.
base.
Check.
And it goes check, check. Well, he got a big piece of it. He's got a gut shot with second pair and backdoor diamonds.
Yeah, well, that card right there is a pretty good hold'em card. If it's check to Mike, yeah, he's got a bet. He's got a bet right there.
Yeah, when check, check on the flop. Mike going to bet the turn, though. He bets 2,800. Antonius not going anywhere. Antonius needs a 5, a 4, or a 3.
I can't fault either player for how they play this hand so far.
Check.
And it goes check, check. Mike the Mouth going to win this one with 9s.
Pair of 9s.
Well, when the best in the world come to play poker, people come out to watch. And this is no exception. There's Barry Mundy, our tournament director. And I say tournament director loosely. It's actually a cash game we're playing here.
No, I'm trying to get a bet.
600 to play.
Button in front of Patrick Antonius. Action on Zygmunt. And he picks up Big Slick.
1,800.
Under the gun.
Raised to 1,800.
It's perfect. Perfect place to disguise the strength of his hand. Ziggy's raised so many pots with a lot less than ace-king.
Well, this is the big difference. We see Mike the Mouth making a raise with 9s. He doesn't get much action at all. Ziggy makes this raise under the gun. He's likely to get 2 or 3 callers, and somebody might even make a move on him.
Absolutely. And with 2 7s for Justin Smith, we're going to finally hear back from him again.
1800.
I want to crossbook 7% with you.
Jesus not going to play. Pretty sure Antonius is going to play this one with the 5s. Just a question of, does he call or does he 3-bet?
Yeah, I think he'll just call and try to flop a set.
Yeah, not much value in 3-betting that kind of hand. Why turn the 5s into a bluff, right?
Especially against a player that's already flatted that hasn't played a hand in a while.
Ivey's going to call from the big blind with the weak ace. And you see the big difference here. Zygmunt raises from under the gun. He gets 3 players to call. Matusow gets 1.
4 deuce.
But if you're Ziggy, do you really want it? Because right now, he is way behind.
Not with this flop, you don't. Phil Ivey.
Bet 7,000.
The gut shot.
7 to play.
Zygmunt continues the rue. He's fired into 3 other players. I mean, it's not like he fired into 1 other player. He fires into 3. Wow.
They're very unconventional. Normally, you don't see a continuation bet from out of position into 2 players on a flop like that. And it's a tough spot for Justin Smith because although he may think he has the best hand, he has 2 players yet to act after him.
Yeah, I think this hand's much easier to play when you don't have those 2 players behind you. I mean, this is a really tough call.
How y'all doing over there? Wait till I bust one of these fools. You guys will laugh a little bit.
His stack size might change how he plays this hand. I mean, he really could afford to gamble.
And we're talking about Justin Smith's decision here. We still have Antonius behind him to act with 5s.
Yeah, it still feels like a raise. I think that's what he's going to do, too.
Normally, you wouldn't be raising here if you're really, really deep.
We raised to 21,000.
But since he started this hand with just about $44,000, he can afford to gamble a little bit more because he's not risking that much.
And it gets to put maximum pressure on his opponent in a situation like this where Zygmunt actually doesn't have anything, doesn't even have a pair yet. So you're a 3-1 favorite, but don't give any free cards. Well played by Justin Smith. That was a great stack size strategy right there.
Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.
Mike, why would I play poker when I can just bet with you?
You only beat me out of 1 so far. And that was only because Maury says it was a deadlock and I couldn't lose. Bet as much as you can. Almost made me lose another 100,000.
No, I told Maury that he was dead wrong, and then I told you that I felt bad because I liked Maury, and he likes both of us. That I felt bad him giving you that bad of advice. But if you were going to bet with someone to bet with me, then you bet with someone else and bet with me.
Play Chinese on the breaks.
Chris Ferguson first to act right now.
I'm only in for 500 a point, though.
I'm going to go on a limb and say he folds.
Well, you'd be right about 99.5% of the time.
Except this time.
Wow. Well, the 0.5% came in. I think even Chris Ferguson plays these types of hands.
Raised to 18.
Now, this is an unfortunate spot for Chris Ferguson because when he raises under the gun,
he's going to command ultimate respect. Oh, and looky here, Mike the Mouth wakes up with 2 queens. Wow.
Mike just calls, though. And that's going to bring an Ivey.
18.
That's so juicy to have that bet on someone's
And
left.
Zygmunt as well.
It's worth 1,000.
Wow. I bet Peter Jetten calls too. King 4 suited.
You might get every single player in this hand.
So the tightest player at the table is going to get 6-way action or something here. This is crazy.
Now, if you have pocket aces, obviously that's the hand you want in this situation. But at the same time, it's not a favorite against the field, though, is it?
It's not. Matter of fact, there's so many weird flops that could come that you could be in danger here.
And here's the squeeze play.
Oh.
To 11,000.
You knew
Peter
somebody was gonna do
Jetten's
it.
going to wish he hadn't done this. It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. He's going to get his hand caught in the cookie jar any second now. If Chris Ferguson plays this tricky in flats, this could cost Peter Jetten dearly.
What do you do if you're Mike the Mouth? Mike the Mouth's got queens behind.
You know, if Chris Ferguson 3-bets in this situation, if I'm Mike the Mouth, I might consider folding, actually. I can't believe it, but I might have to fold. I mean, the tightest player at the table 3-bets it.
Well, actually 4-bets.
4-bets it, no.
Yeah.
You know, stack size-wise, I'd like a flat call here, and we see it. Now, Mike Matusow almost has to call.
I'm all in.
And Mike the Mouth is pushed all in. Mike the Mouth has pushed all in. He announced an all in.
This may be the one time that Mike the Mouth has to shut his mouth up. Oh my gosh!
Great flag.
And Mike knows it. Mike knows he's dead.
Kings.
On their backs.
I thought he had aces pre-flop. That's why I flatted. He played it great.
Against queens.
He had aces. He made a great flat call.
The second Chris calls, he knows he's dead.
Dead to a queen, though. I mean, you know, he's only 4-1 dog. A little more now, though, because Phil Ivey folded one of the queens.
Pot over $200,000. And here it is. 9-6 deuce.
9-6.
Great flop for Chris Ferguson.
Played good. If you re-raise, I really thought you had aces pre-flop. So I just flatted.
Queen of diamond in my hand.
That's good to know.
Jack of diamonds. I saw paint. Got excited for a second.
One queen left in the deck, and Mike Matusow needs it desperately right now.
And a 10.
How much?
Nothing there at all for Mike the Mouth.
96,000.
96.
96.8.
Unbelievable hand. Ferguson raising under the gun. 3 callers. Jenton squeezes. Ferguson decides just to smooth call that squeeze play, and that lays the trap. Mike the Mouth pushes.
96.8.
96.8.
I'll play that. I swear I thought you had aces pre-flop.
You want to borrow the donkey?
Nothing to do with that. It's just Chris played well.
Let's get down to the floor. Alex Payne is with Chris Ferguson.
Chris Jesus Ferguson proving once again that patience is a virtue. We barely saw an eyelid flutter at the table, and you run into a pair of pocket aces. I mean, talk us through that hand.
Yeah, obviously I'm in first position. I make the standard raise, 1,800, the pocket aces, and I see 4 callers. I'm getting worried. I'm gonna have to play this hand really deep stack, and aces aren't gonna play, their best hand to have, but they don't play all that well when you get 5 callers and you have a really deep stack.
5 people flat. Peter decides that he's not paying attention in the game, so he's gonna make it 11,000 to like guys played 3 hands all day.
So I flat call. Now Mike moves in. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
I'm all in.
Trap him with the aces, and fortunately he has queens and no queen comes.
It was just 3 things had to happen bad. One guy's got to not be paying attention and just take 11,000 of his money and throw it away, and the other guy has to play slow play for the first time in his whole life, and then I have to be right in the middle of it all. How much? God, I'm so sure he had aces.
96,800.
We've also seen your donkey appearing at the table. Talk us through that.
Yeah, that was the durrrr donkey, but I think it's going to be the Mike donkey because I got played like a fiddle the last hand. But that's okay. We're having fun.
Mike Matusow now down $84,900. Zygmunt down nearly $110,000. Dwan up $186,000. And Chris Ferguson not only is up $108,000, but you're never going to see that again. Never.
That money's locked up.
Any surprises so far, Robert?
Well, I'll tell you what. The only thing that surprises me so far more than anything else is
600 to play.
Tom Dwan is actually playing a little tight now that he's got a good win booked. I never thought I would say the word tight and Tom Dwan in the same sentence.
Dwan clearly adjusting to his competition. Dwan in the small blind. Folds around to Justin Smith on the button. Now, if you're in the small blind and you're Dwan, are you going to raise almost every single time against Chris Ferguson in the big blind?
Raise 2,000.
A vast majority of hands. And now that Chris has some chips, he might just gamble a little bit.
It looked like a fold. Oh, sick. 6 slow roll.
I'm slow rolling.
Oh my god.
Cool.
So
Are you
sick.
scared?
No, I'm just tilted. I got slow rolled.
10, 9, 8.
These players are the deepest players at the table right now. 10, 9, 8, couple of clubs out there.
Check.
Tom Dwan with the best of it with ace high. He also has an open-ended straight draw.
Check.
Goes check, check. Deuce of diamonds changes nothing.
Well, now Tom Dwan might begin to believe that his ace high is good here. If Ferguson checks one more time behind him.
Check.
Well, that's why he didn't take a stab. He knew a king was coming.
Yeah,
obviously.
I guess if he had ESP, he knew not to bet that turn. Certainly now, though, if Ferguson makes a little half-pot bet, he might get paid off here. Because Dwan might think ace high is good.
3,500.
Ooh, that says danger in my mind. Danger. because Chris Ferguson could easily have a king here. So I don't know. I would have bet a little tiny bit less or more. Nothing in the middle.
Pass.
Dwan figures that out. He mucks his hand, and Ferguson taking that pot.
Yeah, I think if he bets like half pot or 40% of the pot there, he might just actually encourage Tom Dwan to make a hero call.
The one player we don't see is Chris Ferguson, who stepped away. Remember, he's up about 80,000, courtesy of those pocket aces.
No wonder he's taking a break. He's got walking chips. You know, you win a few hands in a row, take it easy, go out for some air, call your mother, ask her how she's doing.
Action on Dwan. Not going to play.
I think that's one of the things I love about poker players the most.
Raise 2,000.
If you get a poker player stuck, he's not going anywhere. He's staying until kingdom come.
Cool. Cool.
Well, some things never change. Patrick Antonius raises. Ivey and Zygmunt calls.
Cool.
This time, Peter Jenton is along for the ride.
Picked up a hitchhiker.
Deuce 4-3.
Oh, and a nice.
Wow, this is a monster. Hold on a second. Hold the boat. Look at Ivey's hand and look at Jenton's hand. Ivey, open-ended with the flush draw.
7,000.
Jenton with second set.
And Zygmunt leads with top pair. This is actually a tough spot for Jenton. I think he has to go ahead and raise here because this flop's just too coordinated.
By the way, Peter Jenton is $54,000 behind. And if it didn't all go in, I'd be really surprised. Because Ivey, 8-5 of hearts.
Absolutely.
Open-ended with the flush draw.
Raise 25,100.
There's the bet from Zygmunt. There's the raise to 25,100 for Jenton.
Bet 7,000. Raise 25,100.
No.
How much did you make it? How much did you make?
25,100.
What's he got left?
Right around 30.
30 more?
I'm not exactly sure, but...
Yeah, at this point, Ivey knows there's no fold equity if he pushes. I mean, 8-5 of hearts. Can he just fold?
I think Zygmunt's depth of his stack here is affecting Phil Ivey's thoughts. I mean, Phil Ivey's got a tough spot because if he pushes here and gets called by Ziggy with a higher flush draw, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's factoring into his thinking right here. We might just see a flat call from Phil Ivey. Whoa! I didn't think you'd see that.
Pass.
Open and straight draw and
open-ended with the flush draw, and Ivey folds. And I've got to imagine one of the reasons for it. One of the powers of a big draw is being able to bluff your opponent off.
Yeah,
and he realized there's no fold equity there. And Jenton wins a pot there that's not nearly as big as he probably thought or hoped for. And Ivey just folds there. Not many players would fold that. Shocking hand.
He might be right with, like I said, the stack size of Zygmunt behind him. He might have made the correct decision there over time.
That's not what you said. You said it was I had to lay like $1.20 or something like that.
I said
Pick who I
$1.10.
want.
$1.10. Pick whoever you want versus me.
As a partner, because you kept saying,
No.
who are you going to pick? Barry?
Yeah. But
who are you
mean,
going to pick?
Yeah, you were asking for a partner.
I wasn't asking for that. I mean, I might have not made it clear or whatever, but what I meant, and I'm
think
sure if you went back and checked the tapes, what I said.
know.
When I asked him what the
Mikey,
bet
we
was
can
when
bet
I
if you
didn't
want.
hear, that's what he said.
I mean,
after.
Oh, you mean
not when he was
your
talking to
childhood
you.
friend you're taking his side? Okay. The guy that you're betting with? Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I don't have any action on it.
Mike the Mouth limps in with a king-jack offsuit.
That's about the range of hand I would put him on a limp. Queen-jack, king-jack, something like that.
Cool.
Jenton going to complete from the small blind.
Check.
And Smith says, let him live. The queen-jack.
4-4 queen.
This board came jack high,
Check.
which it didn't. Could have been a little interesting flop. Top pair for Justin Smith.
And how about trips for Jenton, though?
Oh, and throw. Wow. How did I miss that?
Smith and Jenton, both of them slow playing it a little bit.
1,600.
Smith might be slow playing it for pot control. Jenton slow playing it to deceive the strength of his hand.
I like the bet sizing here. Try to get something out of this hand with two flush draws and a straight draw on the board.
Well, at this point as well, Jenton's got to build up a pot.
Yeah. I mean, last thing you want to do is have three of a kind and win the blinds.
No, you're right.
Looks like Smith's going to raise this up.
5,400.
I think 1.4 or so would be right if it was a bracelet bet.
You have to
I think 1.4 or so would be right if it was a bracelet bet.
He's a good player. He's a really good player. He's a good player. He's a good player, and you suck. So you got like
That's why I was
a
saying
really
pick
good
some-
player, a good player,
That's why I was saying pick
a good
someone
player,
else.
and a bad player. See what I'm saying?
It's back to Jetton now. And how does Jetton play this? Because he's out of position. He's got trip fours. And it can be a tricky way to play him because he wants to get paid, but at the same time, he's got to kind of still deceive his opponent.
I'll tell you right now, with the stack sizes, what they are, Justin Smith's only got 50,000 in front of him. I'm going to go ahead and, oh my gosh, what is Mike the Mouth? Is he in this hand? With a dancing donkey on the table. Peter Jetton's got to re-raise here, but he doesn't. The board's so draw heavy, I don't like that play at all.
Jetton checks, and my guess would be Smith's going to check behind as well now. His hand's got showdown value.
Check. Yeah, it sure does. I don't think there's much value in betting there.
I had a queen.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
A good one, too.
Bad river for me, then.
And it goes check, check, and Jetton is going to win $13,300. Let's take a look at a leaderboard. On top of it, still Tom Dwan, up $181,000. Phil Ivey, our only other winner. It's Dwan's world. We just live in it, okay? Zygmunt down 97,000. Matusow down 82,000. Antonius down 51,000. The one player we don't see it on this board is Chris Ferguson, who stepped away.
Chris Ferguson is over $100,000 to the good after taking down a big pot against Mike Matusow with his pocket aces, but it's Tom Dwan that currently tops our leaderboard. Can the young pro keep up the pace, or will he fall victim to the dancing donkey? Find out next time on the FullTiltPoker.com $1 Million Cash Game.